New details tonight on the employment record for the West Fargo assistant police chief who is now on leave. How and why law enforcement officers in North Dakota could soon be working in Minnesota once again. And what newly declassified documents reveal about Saudi Arabia's role in the terror attacks on 9/11. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
It is still unclear tonight why the West Fargo Police Department's Assistant Chief Jerry Boyer was placed on paid administrative leave earlier this month. Today, Valley News Live obtained Boyer's employee personnel file, and it appears to show him as a model police officer. In the nearly 450-page file we received, there were no indications of other internal investigations or disciplinary actions brought against Boyer in more than 15 years of his service at the station. Also, there were several letters of appreciation from citizens regarding Boyer's actions as a patrol officer. But we're told the current internal investigation continues. Stay with Valley News Live as we continue to follow this developing story. New at 10 tonight, the Bemidji Police Department is asking for the public's help in finding 23-year-old Stephanie Chupp. She was last seen yesterday morning just before 7 o'clock around the 1900 block of Park Avenue. She's 5 feet 2 inches tall, weighs 200 pounds, and has blue eyes and brown hair. Stephanie may have been in a white Pontiac Grand Prix license plate 655 RVZ. Anyone with information regarding her whereabouts is asked to contact the Bemidji Police Department at 218-333-9111. After 6 months, police officers in North Dakota and Minnesota could be working together once again. This after a judge put a temporary hold on Minnesota's new use of force policies. Since that change in early 2020, there are 18 less SWAT team members, 5 less on the bomb squad, and 4 fewer members on the Metro Street Crimes Unit responding to incidents on the Minnesota side of the Metro. The new policy prompted law enforcement in Fargo, West Fargo, and Cass County to suspend all operations in Minnesota because of safety concerns for officers and the public.
You know, that was a huge loss for us, and it made us feel a little vulnerable.
Hopefully as they move forward, as our state legislature moves forward, they know what those concerns are, they know what the issues are, and they take those into consideration.
Now, police chiefs for Moorhead, West Fargo, and Fargo, along with sheriffs from Clay and Cass counties, are expected to meet tomorrow to talk about the possibility of bringing back mutual aid to Minnesota communities as a result of the judge's ruling. The group Mental Health Matters, started by some Valley High School students, hosted a community outreach tonight. Valley News Live's Nishay Taylor reports on what the group is working to accomplish.
The coronavirus pandemic has shined light on the need for discussions on mental health. And students from Fargo North High School, through their Mental Health Matters organization, are attempting to keep the conversation going.
It's time to start talking about mental health and normalizing those conversations because there's such a stigma around it.
Tuesday night, the group hosted their Break the Silence event at Broadway Square to continue engaging with their peers and community members about the topic of mental health. During the event, dozens of people got a chance to view the Fargo Police Department's Break the Silence documentary, which explores the stories of people closely affected by suicide and mental illness.
It was really impactful to have somebody that is so important to our community pushing so hard for suicide awareness, and I think it's something that we really needed.
Faith Shotsky, one of the group's organizers, says it's important to have events like these to hopefully reach as many people struggling with mental stability.
It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to talk about your depressive or your anxiety thoughts or your suicidal thoughts and to get help.
Mental Health Matters was started last year to help students deal with mental illness. Faith also says this year the group plans to host more community events, as well as attempting to get some of the younger students in the school involved in their efforts. In downtown Fargo, Nishay Taylor, Valley News Live.
Now, anyone struggling with emotional or mental distress is encouraged to call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-8255. State leaders in North Dakota have put hundreds of thousands of dollars towards studying and modifying the Capitol building to make it more accessible to people with disabilities. Most recently, lawmakers passed a $750,000 bill during the last session, but they're waiting for construction to begin. Facilities management is focusing on the doors inside and outside the building. The new south entrance takes out the stairs and ramps and puts the Capitol entrance at floor level. Also, there have been issues with automatic doors not working for months.
The reason it doesn't work is because we have negative pressure in the Capitol Tower. So it keeps the door open and banging and everything, and it also makes it harder to open. So we've ordered a sliding door.
Now, the Capitol Facilities Management Director, John Boyle, apologized for the issues and said they hope to get that one new door in the coming months. He says additional time is needed for approvals and installation. More than 200,000 people are without power in Texas tonight after a strike from Hurricane Nicholas. The storm has now been downgraded to a tropical storm and is taking aim at the already hard-hit state of Louisiana. Chris Wynn has the latest from the ground in the Gulf Coast.
Streets turned to rivers, homes submerged by rising floodwaters, and uprooted trees taking out homes. Nicholas unleashing its watery wrath on Texas and is aiming straight for an already devastated Louisiana.
The bottom line is much of Louisiana, central and south Louisiana, is projected to receive a lot of rain. That has already started. And one of the most distressing parts of this is the heaviest rain now is expected to fall in areas that were most devastated by Hurricane Ida.
Nicholas is a slow-moving disaster, moving at the same pace as the average person walks, around 3 miles per hour. Hard-hit areas of Louisiana are now bracing for another catastrophe.
That's particularly challenging because many individuals live in homes that are have not yet been repaired. And not yet really even been temporarily repaired to the point where they can withstand rain.
And for people still living without power weeks after Hurricane Ida, Louisiana's governor says Nicholas may reverse restoration efforts.
We also suspect that there will be some of these homes and businesses that have begun to receive power again after Hurricane Ida that may lose it because of Nicholas.
Reporting in the Gulf Coast, I'm Chris Wynn.
Tonight, we're told about 54% of all Americans are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19. That's according to data set out today by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. 27 states have fully vaccinated more than half of their residents. The CDC data shows an average of nearly 780,000 doses are being administered each day. And about 1.82 million people have received a booster in the last month. The Biden administration has reached an agreement with Regeneron for nearly 1.5 million more doses of its COVID-19 antibody treatment. That brings the total number of doses purchased by the U.S. to 3 million. The company said in a statement Tuesday Regeneron will begin providing the doses and will provide additional doses by the end of January 2022. Regeneron said it will supply the treatment for $2,100 per dose to the U.S. government. In turn, the government will continue to provide the treatment to patients free of charge. The Justice Department announced today a Florida woman has pleaded guilty for threatening to kill Vice President Kamala Harris. 39-year-old Nivianne Petit Phelps admitted to sending her husband, who was in prison at the time, a video of herself making threats to kill Harris. According to the DOJ, Phelps claims she had accepted $53,000 to carry out the hit within 50 days. After sending the video, she sent a photograph of herself holding a firearm with a target sheet at a gun range. Prosecutors said 2 days later she applied for a concealed weapons permit. Yesterday, Phelps pleaded guilty to 6 counts, including charges of threats against the vice president. The Department of Justice has charged former U.S. intelligence officers for helping to build a hacking program for the United Arab Emirates. The DOJ announced federal computer fraud charges against 3 men today. Prosecutors say the program, known as Project Raven, involved giving the UAE powerful hacking tools without an export license. We're told the tools can infect a mobile device without the user having to click on anything. The 3 men are also accused of breaking into computers around the world and stealing personal information. Still ahead tonight, declassified documents reveal new information about Saudi Arabia's role in the terror attacks on 9/11. But first, Hutch is in to give us a full look at your weather forecast for the week. We'll be right back.